The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. After he had fed the people, Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and received him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowds. After doing so, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When it was evening, he was there alone. Meanwhile, the boat, already a few miles offshore, was being tossed about by the waves, for the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of the night, he came towards them walking on the sea. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. "It is a ghost," they said, and they cried out in fear. At once Jesus spoke to them. "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to him in reply, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw how strong the wind was, he became frightened. And beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught Peter and said to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" After they got into the boat, the wind died down. Those who were in the boat did him homage, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." The Gospel of the Lord.
Truly, you are the Son of God. I don't know if I ask you to summarize the gospel today, and this gospel is so familiar to us, about Peter walking out on the water and sink. Everybody remember that part. But if you can review the whole gospel that Father Paul just read for us, everybody heard that story. What is the theme of the gospel today? Anybody? Keep your eye on Jesus. Faith. If I have to summarize the theme for the gospel today, I would say this. It's about the love of Jesus toward his disciples. Think a little bit. It's very cute way of Jesus taking care of the disciples. Remember this story today. It continues about the multiplication of the loaf, and right after he fed 5,000 people, not even including women and children. I think he kind of worried for the disciples. Maybe you work too hard today, my man. Go to the other side, go to the boat, fishing. Taking care of yourself, rest, and I will dismiss the people. And right after that, Jesus went up to the mountain and prayed. And during his resting on the top of the mountain and pray, he noticed that the weatherman said that there is a storm coming tonight or this morning, early morning. And he couldn't rest with that, and so he had to get to their boat and calm the wind and the storm and whatever you call that. And then they thought that he was a ghost. And then Peter said, "If it is you, command me to walk on water." And he's so gentle, so good. They said, yes, Peter, come out. Come, walk on the water with me. It's fun. And he didn't stop there, because when you walk on water, you're afraid. And Jesus didn't even, the way I understand the story, Jesus didn't curse them or punish them. He says, why are you so weak in your faith? Be strong, confident in me. I can do this. And he go into the boat with them. Now, think a little bit. Jesus concerned for the disciples so much. It's like a mother, it's like a father taking care of their children. Feed them in the dinner time, and then say that you need to pray a little bit or something, and then go to bed early today. And then at night, somehow mama, daddy heard something not right. They woke up and they checked on their children. You know what I'm talking about? There's a connection there. The love of Jesus for his disciples. The love of Jesus for us. And so, what is the image, what is the relationship that you have with Jesus, with God? Are you afraid when he calls your name? Are you running away? Or if he asks you to do anything, would you say, oh, I don't know, it's too hard for me, it's almost impossible? I would love to have the spirituality and the example of Peter. Think a little bit about Peter. Standing inside the boat, even though a little bit shaky, still better than walking on water. Walking on water is something very terrifying, and it's a challenge. We live in a world today that's so many challenges. And I bet you have a lot of fears right now. If I ask you, what fear do you have for you right now, for your life, for your family, you can name at least 3 or 4. But right now, do you have a courage to even call and challenge Jesus and say, Jesus, if it is you, command me to come out and to walk on water? How many of us here have that courage, that crazy idea to call out to God and say, God, I need your help, and I believe in you. Even though I'm sinking, I know you will rescue me. That is the faith. Now, I want you to think a little bit outside of your own fear. How many people right now living in fear and in confusion, in darkness, in hopelessness right now, that they even can't cry out for help, that they need your help. Maybe you are the hand that's reaching out to them and pull them up from the water. Maybe you the one who send them the message and say, God bless you, have a wonderful day, have a blessed day. May God be with you always. I believe that especially in this quarantine and coronavirus pandemic, is the best time for you and me to spread out that news. You have to do that, because a lot of people, they don't want to go back to church, and you come in here. You must be very special. You are the 12 disciples of today. You are the new Peter of today. You need to send that message of faith. Remind everyone, especially your loved ones, your friends, your co-workers. Don't be afraid to mention God in their life, especially in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge is the best place to mention God. They reminded me that, Father, if you say God bless you on the phone with a business person or operator, it's okay to say God bless you. Only here, maybe it's good to spread it out and not just use God's name in vain, but use God's name in mercy and grace. And I believe we can do it, especially you can do it, because you and me now, we have the technology that we don't need to talk in person, but we still can send not just a message, but the message of God, the message of confidence, the message of joy, the message of faith throughout the world. If you have a Facebook, social media, do that. Put it in your social media. I went to church today. I felt so good. I felt like God is reaching out and holding my hand today. Don't be afraid to express your faith in public. And not faith with doctrine, faith with personal connection, your conviction, your confidence, your joy, your freedom, your forgiveness. Because that's what the world needs today. Yes, my young people, I have a few young people here, Chloe, Justin, and Nicholas. Do that. Don't be afraid. And this week we go back to school. If you have to do it in virtually, do that. Do the much that you can, but the most important thing is believe in Jesus, that Jesus is with you from the beginning to the end. It's not just a moment of sinking, but even before the sinking happened, God already came during the storm and reached out to us. And not just that, even come to our boat and stay with us. May God bless us today, our family, in our country, in our world today. Amen.